Hello，大家好，欢迎大家今天可以来到我们这个以自然的方式治疗皮肤的干燥和湿疹的等等的皮肤问题，包括现在我们这个 part 呢就有关于到 Kristen 呢，他会给我们present 关于怎样应对这些皮肤问题，然后等一下第二个 session 的时候呢，我们也会请到Dr. Jonathan 呢来跟我们分享一些的真实例子，应该如何的去解决这些问题。OK， 好的，那我们接下来我们去看看呢。好，那首先呢，先跟大家呢先分享略略的分享一下，就是关于呢这个 Janice Shearsmith 呢，就是呢 Janice 的创办人。目前呢，他已经90多岁了，应该是92岁，不是90岁了。那他这位呢，这位他是本身是一个治疗医生呢，而且也是一个美容师，所以呢，他对这个皮肤的这个自然医疗呢是非常非常的了解的。那这个 Jenny 产品呢，都是由他研发的，全天然的研发方式。那在1981年开始呢，Janice 医生呢，他就在这个 Australia 的那个一个净土，OK， 这个地方叫 Adelaide， 然后 Adelaide Hill， 它是在那个Australia 的南部那里有一个很漂亮、非常漂亮的一个garden 呢，那边呢来研发，而且呢，那些所有的花草呢都是自己所种的。当然有一些东西它不能在那边产生，他们呢也会呢去到世界各地那些天然的有 organic 的这些garden 那边跟他们购买回来。那这位呢就是呢我们刚才那位创办人的女儿，就是她叫 Kristen， 然后等一下呢她就会跟大家呢所讲解的啦。那这个就是她小时候的她，那在这个最右手边抱这个 baby 的就是她她是大女儿，然后呢就有个双胞胎弟弟，还有一个妹妹。那这个呢就是10多岁花样年华的时候在妈妈的 garden 里面就是拍的一个漂亮照片。我现在小帮手一直在看，哇，真的是像明星一样。好，那我等一下呢就为大家介绍这位明星这一位呢就是我们的Kristen， 然后他曾经呢来过我们这里，有就是给我们上过很多次课的。那在这边呢有2次，应该不止2次，应该有4到5次是大型的。那这一个呢是其中一张我们拍下的照片作为留念的。那这些都是最近几次，那之前还有更早期的。OK， 好，那现在呢我们就邀请了我们的 Kristen 呢来跟我们来见面。 Hi Kristen。
Hello. Hello to everyone.
Hi, so I will pass the time to you, is that okay?
Absolutely.
All right.
Okay. Well, hello everyone. I'd love to introduce myself. Joel has already done so. I've been around Jeunesse for many years. So being the daughter of Jan, I can give you a very good insight into our brand. So I want to welcome those who are new to the brand first. And I look forward to sharing with you all the insights into how to manage and treat dry skin. So the subject today is something that does affect many people. Dry skin is something that is a very common ailment with skin health, but there's many different degrees of dryness. So I want to look first of all at what would be common in terms of what you'd be looking for if you had dry skin. So first of all, the texture of the skin needs to be, I'll just go to the next slide, thanks Joel. The texture of the skin can be tight. It can feel tight and it can be sensitive. Now, sensitivity is usually linked to the skin being dehydrated. In other words, it is very dry. So sensitivity happens because the skin is exposed. The lower cells are exposed to the environment. It can feel stretched and tight after you put water on it. So your skin should be feeling soft and velvety like the petal of a rose, but if your skin is feeling tight and really papery after you put water on it, then you know you have an issue with dryness. Now, even extreme cases, when there's extreme sensitivity and the actual skin has broken down, it can also become hot, sensitive, and itchy. And that can sometimes be related to skin conditions like eczema and dermatitis. These are more extreme cases. But if you start treating your skin earlier in the piece and you recognise the early signs of dryness and that slight soft texture that is compromised, then once you start recognising the early signs, you can prevent the skin getting into a very serious state of repair, and you're needing a lot more attention. So the good news is we've been treating dry skin conditions at Jeunesse for many years. And one misunderstanding that people do have is that quite often they think that you need, for dryness, you need to put more moisturiser on. It's not always the case. So I just want to explain first on the skin actually has its own mechanism to prevent dryness. So let's look at that first. We just go to the next slide. So this is the skin cross-section. We have two actions here which are very important and what the skin uses to protect itself. The first action is the secretion of liquid from your sweat glands, and that comes up onto the surface of the skin. The other important action is the secretion from your oil glands, and the oil glands sit on the side of the hair shaft, as you can see in the diagram. Now, those secretions come up onto the surface of the skin as well, and it layers over the humidity of the sweat. So you're kind of locking in that humidity in the skin. But that dual layer also acts as a natural barrier. Now, this oil that's produced does not get reabsorbed into the body. The body is actually producing something that it will not reabsorb, so it always sits on the surface of the skin. And that protection we call the skin barrier. The skin barrier is so important. It has a pH. When you talk about the pH of the skin, the pH is determined by the skin barrier. And the pH is usually between 4.5 to 6.5 in a healthy skin. So what you're doing is you're seeing that the skin has developed its own shield. It is protecting itself from the lower cells getting dehydrated from the environment. And it's also protecting itself from the environment itself, from the sun, from everything, the pollution. It is a way of protecting itself. So it is a shield that covers your whole body. So it's very important to understand how critical the function of the skin barrier is in keeping your skin healthy. And what happens when it breaks down is that's when you get problems with compromised skin conditions like extreme dryness. Now, I can see a lot of captions coming through in Chinese. I hope I'm talking slow enough for you to understand. If you'd like me to slow down a little bit, please just let me know and I'll do my best. So I'm just going to go into the next slide. Thank you, Joel. So the thing that's important to understand about the skin barrier as part of the function is it not only keeps that humidity in, but it actually holds that humidity in the lower layers. So that humidity is so important for the function of cellular renewal. Because if you want your cells to regenerate, you've got to be able to have nutrients that come to them. And the best way to transfer nutrients is through a liquid form. So this humidity around the cell acts as a bubble, and that helps the transfer of nutrients to the cell, and it helps your cells to regenerate. And so that will slow the aging process. So it's for that reason that dry skin as a problem is a precursor to premature aging. So if you want to slow aging, very important, you must make sure your skin is hydrated. And this is the key to the health of your skin. So the good news is we know how we can help the skin to maintain that hydration. And it's not that difficult, but there's a few little rules we need to follow. So let's just go for the next slide. So let's look at the two main reasons that are going to be the things that affect your skin being dry. And this is what happens when your skin barrier breaks down. So obviously when your skin barrier breaks down, you'll have a tendency to have an evaporation or drying effect of the skin. So when that happens, there's two main reasons for it. We'll go into a bit more detail later, but it can also be caused not only by the environment or what you might be drinking or not drinking, or what you might be putting on your skin or not putting on your skin. It will also be affected by the function of your liver. But that is an important regulator for many things with your health. So let's talk about that a bit more. The other reason, we'll go to the second reason for why your skin might be dehydrated or lacking in moisture. So the next slide is actually, we talked about the other reason that we are lacking in a strong barrier is sometimes you don't have enough oils in your diet. Now, that's when the skin is called something that is lipid dry. The oils are not being produced from internally, secreting onto the surface of your skin. So those oils that come through from your glands in your skin, they have to be produced from inside, from the liver, from what you eat. So this is where it's really important to understand that your dryness of your skin is actually a big story. It is a reflection of what you eat and what you put on your skin and how you care for yourself. So let's look at some important things to understand that are influencing that. So things that can cause dryness. Now, many people might choose a foaming cleanser. At Jeunesse, we absolutely recommend that you do not use a foaming cleanser. Anything that has got a foam or a bubble has got something in the formula called a surfactant. And this creates this foaming. It's like a detergent. So what it does, it actually strips that beautiful protective layer off the top of your skin barrier. It's gone. Anything else that might aggravate that could be a facial wipe. Sometimes scrubs can be a bit harsh on the skin, certain scrubs, and they can affect a compromise in your skin barrier. So what we want to do is focus on protecting that barrier, and therefore you protect the health of your skin. So I want you to see this diagram here, which is when the skin barrier has been compromised. So what you might notice from the previous diagram is that there's no covering on the surface. The sweat glands are not getting enough liquid to the surface of the skin, and likewise the oil glands. Because what happens when your skin is feeling threatened, it doesn't have the barrier on there, is that the pores naturally contract just enough to protect itself. But in doing so, these natural secretions are not getting through to the surface. So therefore, you've lost that protective layer of your skin. The skin barrier is hardly there. And that invites all sorts of problems. The first obvious one is dehydration. And as the cells on the upper layers start to dehydrate, the cells on the lower layers are exposed, and that can cause sensitivity. The other thing that's important is we talked about the pH of your skin, the acid regulator in your skin barrier. Now that is very good for fighting infection, because you must be aware that on the surface of your skin you have good bacteria to fight infection and you have bad bacteria. This is called the microbiome. It's a healthy environment of bacteria that balance each other out. Now, if you don't have that acid mantle in the barrier, you don't have the ability to fight infection. So it all relates. Everything comes together in a relatable way if you understand that the importance of the balance of those secretions from the sweat glands and the oil glands to keep that protective barrier on your skin healthy. The other thing that is important that people aren't aware of is that the liver is quite a barometer for regulating the secretions of oils on your skin, and also for the storage of vitamin A, which is very important for producing the natural oils that flow on your skin as well. So there's many layers to this, and we're just going to go into looking at the next slide, and we're just going to talk a lot more in the next slide about the importance of how we can prevent this dry skin problem. So prevention is always the best way. Prevention is better than cure. So there are simple steps that you can follow, very simple steps to keep your natural barrier of your skin protected and healthy. So as I mentioned before, foaming cleansers are a big problem. You really need to try and eliminate them from your routine. Now, I know some of you who are regular users of foaming cleansers might find this a challenge because you don't feel as if your skin is going to be clean enough. I can absolutely assure you that your skin does not need to be scrubbed clean. It just needs to have a gentle removal of the pollutants that sit on your skin or what makeup you might be wearing during the day. So always only cleanse once a day, and that is in the evening. So the Jeunesse cleansers are very gentle. They're a milk-based cleanser. They come in a 100 ml bottle, but you need to add water when you use it. And we do this for a reason. Our products are concentrated, so we actually add the water in. So the preservatives that we use are very soft. Anyway, I won't do a full demonstration, but we'll put 2 or 3 pumps in the palm of your hand. Then you add a few drops of water, mix together, and then cleanse your face. Now, this might seem like a gentle way of cleansing, but I can assure you it's very effective. Your skin is not dry. The important thing at the end of this process, your skin is not feeling dry. And what happens when you strip that barrier off your skin, that beautiful protective barrier, is your skin sometimes will compensate and it will produce oil to combat the dryness. So when that happens, the balance is lost. And sometimes people who have a dehydrated or very dry skin all of a sudden become oily. It is all about the balance of those secretions of the oil and sweat glands. So in order to rebalance your skin, you need to change a cleanser away from a foaming cleanser or any alcohol-based cleanser and look at a cleansing milk, which is gentle but very effective. Your skin will feel clean and fresh, but soft. It's still soft and not dry. Important also to remember, you don't need to cleanse twice a day. People can get dry skin, not with Jeunesse products, but with other brands, if they over-cleanse. Cleansing twice a day is 1 time more than you need. If you go to sleep at night with clean skin and you wake up in the morning, you don't need to cleanse it again. There is a refresh technique with hydration I'll show you in a minute that you can do in the morning, but it's really important just to clean your skin when you need to, only once a day. The same rule that applies to your face, the care of your face, you need to think about that for your body as well, because it's quite often dry skin conditions can occur all over your body. Now, there's a very simple thing you can do, particularly if you're using a high foaming shampoo. Many people, as they're washing their hair, they're standing under the shower, the shampoo will run down their body, down their arms, and down their back. And that's quite often a common areas where dry skin conditions occur. because of this foaming product running down the body. So a very simple solution to that is when you're washing your hair, pull your head forward in the shower and rinse the water off in the shower with your head forward or over a basin so that you don't allow the foam to go down over your body. Because as we know, dry skin conditions affect the entire body, and particularly if you have a tendency to have dry skin, it's going to aggravate it even more. So it's really important, just a couple of simple things as a starting point. Prevention. Prevention is a very big starting point for treating dry skin. Because now we understand about the importance of the skin barrier, we want to protect that. This is a very important first step. So let's go to the next step. Just ask for the next slide. So the next slide is all about step 2. Now, the most obvious part of dealing with hydration is to keep your body and your face hydrated. There's a very simple rule to this, because it's not as easy as putting water on your skin, because your skin is actually not designed to absorb water. Your skin actually repels water. That's what that barrier does. It keeps the humidity in your skin and it doesn't allow water to penetrate in either. Now, you're probably asking why that is, but the important thing is the dehydration is prevented by that barrier remaining in place. So we've got this barrier sitting there. So how do we get water penetrating into your skin? Well, there's a very simple answer, and it's a very simple technique everyone can do, and it's all to do with the science of absorption. So because your water will not cross over the barrier into the lower layers of your skin, it needs a carrier. In other words, it needs something that your skin will absorb to pull the humidity in. Now, one thing that Jeunesse has worked with for a long time and is known for a very long time is that your skin naturally absorbs liquid plant extracts. Liquid plant extracts is something your skin recognises as a food. So it wants it, it'll absorb it like a sponge. So we use that technique in a method called soaking. So what we do, and I'll explain it very quickly, we have soaking drops. So I'll just bring that up and show you very briefly. This is the softening soaking drops. Now in this little bottle is an absolutely wonderful blend of rose extracts, rose oil, and other plant extracts that are going to help humidify the skin. These are little liquid plant food articles for the skin. So what you need to do is to add this into some water. So you have at home something like a bowl, or you use your bathroom sink, and you actually just add these drops into the water. I'm doing it very quickly here. And you pop a soaking cloth in. Now this cloth is a Jeunesse cloth. It's made of cotton, so it absorbs very easily. It dries really quickly. So if you hang it out in your bathroom, even in a humid environment, it'll dry very quickly and it won't harbour any bacteria. So what you have with this cloth is a tool by which you put in a soaking bowl, which is filled with water and your soaking drops. You put your cloth in, you gently squeeze it, not dry, but just enough to get a little bit of the excess moisture out. I won't do a full demonstration because clearly this cloth is not in water, but you hold it over your face. I'll just take my glasses off to give you a little demonstration. And you hold it over your face and you breathe deeply and you count to 10 because you need to have that warmth on your skin. Now, this sounds like a very simple process to do, but it's very, very effective. And if you want to add anything to your routine that's going to change how your skin feels, this is it. You pop it on your face 3 times like this. So you soak, you put it on your face, you hold it, press down on your neck as well. Never forget the neck. Hold it for 10 seconds and repeat. So the magic of how many benefits it has. So obviously it's supporting that skin barrier function. Really, really fundamental. It's helping regulate oil gland activity. If your oil glands are overactive, with that deep hydration, it'll help to reduce it. At the same time, it gives your skin the resilience to defend itself from the environment. It helps an enzyme action, which is very important for the production of collagen and elastin, which is your strengthening of the skin and holding the skin structure. So it's a very inexpensive and very effective way to get a very deep hydration into those lower layers of the skin. By comparison, if you just put water on your skin, just sprayed your face with water, it evaporates. It doesn't stay on the skin. So you need to pull that humidity in, and this is the best way to do it with liquid plant extracts. So that's step number 1. It only takes a couple of minutes in the morning and you're done for the day. And sometimes we recommend you do it twice a day, particularly if you've got a very dry skin or a skin condition that needs treatment. You do it morning and night. And the reason for that is that you've got to get that humidity into the skin, because otherwise you're not going to get the change that you need. So the next step is, while your skin is warm and deeply hydrated, you use a mist. So the Jeunesse mists are, again, your plant-based mists. So the importance of this is that this is a higher concentration of plant actives in the mist. It's not just a floral water. So you're actually spraying your face with something that is going to feed your skin. In this case, the softening range has rose, lots of rose extracts in here. Now, rose is very important for dry skin. Rose is actually something called a natural humectant. In other words, it helps your skin to hold that humidity. So there's 2 parts of the equation. One is to get your skin to absorb the water. And the next thing you must remember is how it holds that humidity. You want that humidity to stay in your skin. And so by misting directly after soaking is another great step to do that. So following your misting, which is the 3rd hydration step, is an addition of a serum. I'll just turn it around the right way. So this particular serum, again, it's very rich in rose extracts. It also has something called a plant hyaluronate or hyaluronic acid. Now, many of you who recognise hyaluronic acid as an ingredient in other brands, you'll be pleased to know that we actually use a plant-based hyaluronate. And this particular product is a very important part of holding humidity. Plant hyaluronates hold up to 400 times its weight in water in the skin. So this helps your skin to hold the humidity. So the first step is getting the skin to absorb that humidity and the plant actives to hold it in there. And this one helps to even boost that ability to hold it even further. So you're keeping that humidity locked into your skin, and that's what you want, because all the function of the skin, the healthy skin, is reliant on that hydration. So just to let you know, there's 2 serums we would recommend. You also have a balancing serum. So if you're wanting to use the balancing series as the drops, the mist and the serum, the reason why you would choose the balancing series is if you have any slight redness, because lavender will calm that. And lavender is also a flower that will regulate oil gland activity. So if your skin's a bit dry and it might get humidified, but you want to stimulate your oil glands a little bit to lift that natural oil in the skin, then this is a very good serum for that. So again, go to your Natural Health Farm nutritional beauticians and they'll be able to advise you on which is the soaking, misting and serum series that you need to use. So now that we've got that skin beautifully humidified, the next step is what we want to do is to lock that humidity in and to hold it in. So just the next slide, thank you, Joel. So when we look at that, we go back to, yes, that one, that's correct. To hold that humidity in, obviously, some people consider a moisturiser to be something that humidifies the skin. It doesn't really. It actually sits on the surface. You can have moisturisers that will absorb. In our case, we always recommend plant-based moisturisers. Plant-based moisturisers are the only way you can feed your skin, give it some nutritional value while you're helping to support that natural barrier. One thing I just want to point out at this stage, which is quite an interesting fact, is that when your skin produces the oils, call it sebum, on the surface of your skin, that oil is designed in a way that it does not reabsorb into your body. So it sits on the surface of your skin. So when you apply a moisturiser, as we are with we actually have a very fine blend of coconut waxes that we use as a base, and that helps to build that protective layer on the skin. Now the moisturisers are very light, they're not heavy, and you only need a very small amount because our products are concentrated. And of course, this little 50 ml bottle of moisturiser, this will actually last you 6 months. And the reason why is you don't need very much. Just one pump in the palm of your hand, that's all you need. And that will cover the whole face. If your face has got the humidity of the soaking and the misting and the serum, you need a very small amount just to cover that and hold it in. In addition to that, there are obviously plant extracts in the moisturisers, so there's nutritional value there as well. Now, if you've got now we're talking back to dry skin conditions here, and quite often people with extremely dry skin have quite a lot of sensitivity. And this is because the cells on the surface of the skin have basically dried up. So they're kind of semi-protecting the skin normally. And if they dry up, it actually exposes all those live cells that sit underneath the skin or the surface of the skin. So when those live cells are actually interacted with a wax of any sort, wax-based lotion, they tend to get reactive. So that's why some people say if they have sensitive skin, they use a moisturiser, but it makes it sting. The only reason why it stings is their skin does not have enough natural humidity there in the first place. So the first step you do, number one step for any sensitivity, is you just do those 3 steps I talked about before: the soaking, the misting, and the serum. And that will give you a routine for 2 or 3 weeks, and you build up that humidity in the skin. And then at that point, you can add what we would recommend is a facial oil. And facial oils do not react as much on a skin as a lotion or a cream. So I don't want to confuse you, but there's lots of different levels and different types of dry skin. But I'm just giving you some basic principles around understanding what to do with skin. So now what we've put the layer of the moisturiser or the lotion or the facial oil on top. So you're actually supporting that natural barrier, and it gives the skin the protection throughout the day. So if you do your soaking, misting and serum in the morning with the moisturiser, your skin won't feel dry at the end of the day. And what we're doing it in a way of hydrating your skin without overloading it. You don't need to put heavy creams on to lift the dryness, to cure the dryness. You don't need heavy creams. You just need to layer it with a lot of humidity, plant actives to hold that humidity, gentle oils and gentle lotions, and hold those layers together, and the skin will actually absorb everything very well and start to feel like it's restoring its natural softness. So your skin texture will start to improve after 3 or 4 days of that soaking misting serum. You'll find quite a dramatic change. But importantly, number one, we talked about the prevention, and that is to stop using any foaming cleansers. So I just want to go to the next slide. Thank you. So this is step 4 that we're going to talk about now. Step 4 is a whole new layer of treating dry skin conditions. And it's really important to understand that there is a relationship, a holistic relationship between what you put on your skin, how you care for it, and what you eat. There's some very simple things that you could be eating that would actually help your skin. And those things are something called essential fatty acids. Now, when we're talking about the body's nutritional needs in terms of natural fats, we're looking at something that is unsaturated. So anything that is a seed oil or from nuts, and it is raw, it is processed through a cold system, so the product is not heated during the process, you will have some very good essential fatty acids in that product, in that oil. And that's really beneficial for the skin. And the reason for that is a couple of reasons. First of all, these essential fatty acids are important for transporting those hormones through the body. And hormones are very important to maintain the humidity of the skin. The other reason is it helps your skin to produce those natural softening oils to protect the surface. So really important to understand how essential fatty acids are important to the integrity and the health of your skin. Because even though we talk about skin being dry, there's actually 2 types of dry skin. One is when you're lacking humidity. Another is when you're lacking natural oils. Your skin is not producing enough natural oils. So a good source of that is through diet. So one thing is the softening facial oil, which is in the Jeunesse range, has got the omega-3s and 6s in it, and a good essential fatty acids which can be absorbed topically through the skin. So that is one source, but a better source is also from what you eat. So there are some good supplements. Natural Health Farm have a product, I understand, that they can advise you on that will give you those essential fatty acids in your diet. So it's important to understand the critical balance between those 2 elements of the humidity and the natural oils. You can't have a perfect balance if one or the other is too low or too high. You just have to have that natural balance. And again, it comes through the lifestyle and how you eat. So the other thing is when you're thinking about your health of your skin, think about your general health. So eating light foods, lots of fresh fruits and vegetables, they're obviously going to help enormously with elimination, with keeping your skin clear and healthy, and also giving your skin the tools it needs to rebuild and regenerate. So that's one of the important parts of understanding the health of your skin, is about the internal support that you can give your skin as well as what you use topically. So we'll just go into the next slide. Thank you, Joel. So when we talk about nourishing your skin with pure plant extracts, you can actually do it topically. And this is really important because Jeunesse have developed these extremely nutrition-filled elixirs. So to explain how it works is that we actually have a very different process to make these products. All our extracts are aged, so they've been left to, like a fine wine, they're left to age for 3 years so that they are potent and they are very active. So these elixirs are made of many blends of herbs that have been steeped together, and then that liquid is drained off, put in dark bottles and left to store for 3 years. Now, if you want more information on that, please look at the website. Natural Health Farm have information on that as well as our website. But the process by which we produce our products, and particularly these elixirs, is very unique. And the reason for that is we want to give your skin the best possible nutrients that we can through topical product. So in the elixirs, they're actually very concentrated. They're over 25% of pure plant extract, and that's very high in the skincare industry. So you don't need very much. So the elixir we would recommend for any dry or sensitive skin is called our Refine and Renew Nurturing Elixir. Now, this is the little bottle here that I have, and they're in dark bottles so it doesn't get affected by light, because we want to protect those pure plant extracts. And they're like a strong vitamin supplement for your skin. So the blend of herbs in here are very specific to the skin type. What they do is if your skin is needing to hold humidity and the structure to hold it is weak, then it will help to build your skin's ability to hold the moisture, hold humidity in. The other thing it does is if your skin is not producing enough natural oils in the sebaceous gland to create that barrier, the herbs in this will help to stimulate the natural oil production. So it really is quite a transformative treatment for anyone with dry skin. But please be aware, taking one product like this is not going to give you the full results. You need to really use it along with the Jeunesse layering of hydration program, the soaking, the misting, serum, and so on. And now you put your elixir on right at the point after soaking and before you mist, because that's when the skin is warmed, it has got the moisture, and you just put very small amount because it's so concentrated. You only need enough to put just one drop on your forehead, on each cheek, and on your chin. And if your skin is hydrated, you just pat that around. And you just do that in the morning and job done. So a small bottle like that will last you quite a few months. You don't need very much because I mentioned it's very concentrated. But just think of it as like you would take your morning vitamin supplements for your body. This is exactly what you're doing for your skin, but you're putting it on top. And that is going to transform your skin from being very dry. So that is a little secret product we have with Jeunesse. Now, these are special products which were created many years ago. But we have just had so much success with them because the belief in the whole principle of Jeunesse, if nutrition works internally to give you optimum health, then the same principle applies to what you put on your skin. You need to be able to give your skin the nutrition topically to give it the full benefit. So these are some key tips. I'm just giving you a really quick overview of some key points that you need to consider when you want to transform any dry skin. So I just wanted to touch on now, we go to the next slide. Thank you, Joel. I just want to touch on now on the treating sensitivity and eczema. They are very specific, so you need to have a little bit more consideration around the type of program that you need to engage in to correct it. Particularly if you've got eczema for a long time, many cases, 9 times out of 10, is related to your diet. So there is advice that your Natural Health Farm naturopath can give you on this, but I just want to give you some key points to consider. So as we always talked about, prevention is better than cure. So if you at any point recognise a slight drying effect around any part of your face or even on your body, use the same principles. The same principles apply. So let's talk about your face for a while. So first of all, any sensitivity or any dryness, start treating it with those 3 key steps: soaking, misting, and serum. Just do that. And remember, if you have to clean your skin, if you are wearing makeup and you need to cleanse your skin, try using a facial oil to cleanse instead of the cleansing milk. The cleansing milks are fine if your skin is not compromised too much. Or with compromised, I mean the structure is broken down and it's clear flakiness and the sensitivity. If your skin is broken down, there's sensitivity. So we find facial oils, our facial oil, softening facial oil is the best medium as a cleanser if you're wearing makeup and you've got hypersensitive skin or skin is broken down. So to cleanse with a facial oil, you would take just a little cotton pad like this. I've just wet this one. And you take your facial oil and you put a couple of pumps on there, 1, 2, and then you wipe it over the face. And that gives you a cleanser for someone who's got hypersensitive skin. Low-grade sensitivity is not a problem with the cleansing milk or any other skin there above. But when you've got hypersensitive skin or skin where the skin is broken and itchy and hot, then we would recommend using the facial oil as a cleanser, but only if you wore makeup. So coming back to that basic routine, you would start out for the first 2 or 3 weeks just doing your soaking, misting and your serum morning and night. So the idea of this is you've got to build that layer of humidity up. You've got to build it up. By about the 3rd week, you'll notice that your skin has started to soften and the texture has improved. And the tolerance to any oil or anything on top will be there. So in that case, you can use your facial oil as a moisturizer. So your facial oil has got 2 purposes. It can be used either as a cleanser or a moisturizer. So it's a very useful product. So once you have your facial oil on top of your skin, that gives you that oil layer to hold the humidity in. Now your skin, you'll find, will start to change in texture and feel during this time. If you want to look at which range is best for you, again, I can't give you advice because there's so many different ranges of eczema and dermatitis and excessive hypersensitivity in the scope of skin health, that it would be hard for me to give you a broad, just general answer for everything. So I would advise you to go and, I think there's a consultation form you can fill out, but please see your nutritional beauticians at the outlets or a naturopath, depending on the severity of your concerns, and they will put you on an eczema program. But just as a guide for selection of which products you might be able to use is obviously the soaking, misting, and serum. And again, you add in the elixir into that group. So I've got a little handful of it here. So your elixir is also an important addition into that treatment program. And you can use this in the first few weeks, like 2 or 3 weeks, as I mentioned. Looks like a lot of product, but actually it just takes 2 minutes. So they're all humidifying. They're all building up that skin barrier, and they're all giving your skin the resilience that it needs, and it will reduce sensitivity. Now, it depends on your skin. If you've got a very fine skin that has that sensitivity but has no redness particularly, then I would actually go for this rose-based range, the softening range. If, however, your skin is a little bit red and you've got redness and it's itchy, then you could introduce your lavender-based range, which is, again, your balancing range. And that's going to help to calm that redness. So you just want to take the heat out of your skin. Very important in that case. I know quite often when people are under stress, they've got a lot of problems in their life, or things have happened in a way they weren't expecting, quite often the skin breaks down. And this is a result of, it's quite interesting, is a lot of it's to do with your liver, and it actually contracts when you're anxious, and the function of the liver is compromised. So this has a roll-on effect to how the health of your skin is managed by the body. So that's why coming back to your general health in terms of those severe skin conditions, it's best to consider it as a whole solution, not just a topical solution. You can try the topical solution to start with, at just treating your skin, but once you start treating your internal health, the results will come a lot faster. They'll be a lot quicker, and you'll feel better. So it's a double benefit. So I just wanted to touch on some foods. I'll just go to the next slide, if we can, please, Joel. So we're going to be talking about some things which are important to avoid when you have a distressed skin condition. Now, what people aren't aware of is some foods actually aggravate skin when you have anything that's inflamed, sensitive, or extreme dryness. So again, it's all to do with your liver function. And there's some things you can do very simply and as a guide to get you started on the right path. So as I mentioned before, it's important to look for fresh, light foods, foods that are going to give you nutrition without anything that is a saturated fat. Now, that's really important to understand the difference between a saturated fat and an unsaturated fat. Your unsaturated essential fatty acids are critical to the health of many parts of looking after your skin and just general well-being. But the saturated fats are things can aggravate it. Things that they actually produce heat in the body, and anything when you have a hot skin condition, you don't want to have foods that are going to generate that heat. So things you need to avoid are things like you can see on screen, oranges. Oranges are great. They aggravate any skin condition. If you've got a hot skin, whether it be an oily skin condition or if it's a extreme eczema or something like that. Oranges, orange juice, please avoid that. Interestingly enough, all the other citrus fruits are fine, like lemons, you would have limes, anything like that are absolutely fine to eat. It's just oranges. Anything that's got heat in chili, unfortunately, it's lovely to eat, but unfortunately, if your skin is irritated and hot, you need to keep this out of your diet for a little while. Again, with stimulants like caffeine, that's something that you need to avoid. So try and take a herbal tea instead of your coffee in the morning. As you must remember, if you're on a program to improve your health, if you commit to the program, at the end of it, you can monitor your own eating habits once you've got into your skin health again. And you can moderate it, but you can actually start to introduce these things into your diet again if you want to eventually. Your skin will quickly tell you if it doesn't like it. You just wear it on your face. But in this case, you want to avoid it. So you want to help your skin to repair, and that way helping your liver, helping your digestion. The other obvious one is deep fried foods, very hard to digest, very saturated fats and congestive and not good for any skin condition. So I've got on screen also the B vitamins. Now, very important for helping rebuild a skin condition where you've got sensitivity or eczema. You need to look for the total B complex. Now, Natural Health Farms have got this B complex vitamin supplement. So again, get correct advice from the Natural Health Farm team about your dosage. But this is really important because it helps your body to absorb those essential fatty acids, which are critical to that natural flow of oil onto your skin to give it the protection. And look, some of these steps might need some more advice. Some of them are very simple. You can just go to your Natural Health Farm outlet and select the products and just start the routine at home. I can't emphasize enough how important it is, that hydration story, but also obviously keeping up all the other activities around avoiding foaming cleansers, keeping away from alcohol-based toners and facial wipes, maintaining the health of the skin by gentle exfoliation, not rough scrubs, keeping that barrier protected. And you will find it might be a bit of a shift in the habits that you have at the moment, but I can tell you the rewards are far worth it. You will have the skin, the glowing, healthy skin that you really want. And we're very confident with that because we've been doing this for so many years and we see the transformation in so many of our clients. And we're very excited to be able to share this information with our team and with the people at Natural Health Farm and all their beautiful clients. So thank you for listening to me. And I think we go now to questions. Is that right, Joel?
Yeah, welcome. You see me?
I can hear you.
All right. Okay. So right now we have a few Q&A that they have typed
Yeah.
in. The first question is that what caused oil seed?
What caused which?
Oil seed. OILSEED. Oil seed. There's been some oil seed, soft oil seed on the face. I think she got an oily skin, not a dry skin.
Yes. Well, I mean, there's a whole range of reasons why that could be happening. Sometimes, as I mentioned before, if people are using a foaming cleanser and they develop oily skin, is because their skin is actually being dried out by the foaming cleanser because the barrier just keeps getting removed off. And the skin compensates for that by producing more oil. So you think you've got oily skin, but in fact your skin is dehydrated. So without actually seeing that client myself, without seeing her skin, it's very hard to determine the actual cause. But again, anything that is to do with congestion of the skin and the flow of oil on the skin, it has to talk about regulation of those oil gland activity. And that's a really big important part to keeping the balance between the diet and what you apply topically on your skin and how you look after your skin. So
Alright.
my advice to the client is to seek out the help of one of your wonderful team at Natural Health Farm and really get someone to look at the skin, and then they can put them on the path which is right to bring their skin back to health.
Okay, let me explain it, yeah. 所以呢，刚才这位Kristen Lee 呢就有问到一个问题，就是为什么会有这些油粒？所以呢，Kristen 呢就要在这里呢跟大家分享，就是就是刚才他在前面分享的，如果我们是时常使用这个泡沫的这个洗脸霜或者洗脸剂都好，那它就会呢把你脸上的这个保护层的油呢给拿掉。所以呢，当你的这个天然的保护层给拿掉了过后呢，身体呢就会出更多的油，为了要保护你的皮肤。当身体出更多的油来保护这个皮肤，但是它已经是超过了，好，已经超过原本需要的，因为它好像要赔偿回去，让你拿掉，它要多几倍出来嘛。所以呢，这个呢就会形成了这一个油粒。但是呢，它在这里呢也另外在说呢，就是因为他没有看到那个病人本身嘛，所以呢，如果是这样子的话呢，可能这个不是180%是关于这个病人的问题，所以呢，你可以呢就是如果你需要的话呢，你可以把照片发给我，然后呢，我可以帮你发给他来看一下。那另外一点呢，就是如果是有这个油粒问题的人呢，他们应该呢要 make sure 呢我们的这个皮肤的滋水是非常的平衡的。那如果要如何的滋水平衡呢？其实呢，你可以询问我们的这个美容营养师，他会教导你如何的使用。那在这里呢，也跟大家分享一下哈，就是其实我们每一个美容营养师呢，他们都曾经呢特别有特训，就是 Kristen 呢有从澳洲过来，给他们特训呢如何的去诊断这个皮肤和使用这个 这个 Janice 的事情的，因为我们曾经呢有上过一连串好几天的课程呢，是特别针对呢如何的诊断的，所以大家请放心。Alright, Kristen, I was telling them regarding the classes and the university that you have given to our beautician nutrition, where they are certified to know how to analyze the skin of the of patients.
That's
Okay,
correct.
so yeah.
I was just going to ask you quickly, is that animation on the soaking available for people to see?
Yes.
Would
Yes.
you like to show that very quickly now? And I can just talk over it very quickly.
好，大家等一下哈，现在还有一个小小的一个 video 呢，非常重要的一个 video 要给大家看看的。Let me share the screen.
Okay. This is very quick, so I'm going to have to talk very quickly, but I just wanted to explain to people in a visual way how the plants, liquid plants, extract.
I start it right now, yeah?
Okay. When the liquid plant extracts are added into water, how they actually pull the water into the skin when you soak. And that's something which is so powerful. There we go. See, the liquid plants are pulling that water in.
All right.
And it's pulled the water in. So the one on the right is basically evaporation that happens if you don't have the liquid plants with it. So it's a very quick animation. You just have to look at it very quickly. But it does give you a bit of an idea of how the principle of that absorption works, when it locks it in the botanicals and the humidity with it. And then if you don't have the botanicals with the water sprayed on the skin, it just evaporates. So it's the easiest way I can explain it is through that little animation. So thank you for sharing.
All right. Let us spray once more.
Okay, so it absorbs into the skin, pulling the water into the skin with the liquid plant extracts. And then you've got evaporation if you don't have the plant extracts holding it in.
Okay. 大家看得明白了吗？好的 All right. So we go proceed to the next Q&A.
Lovely, thank you.
Okay. How about dry and itchy head scalp? Which means she have a dry, maybe someone have dry and itchy head scalp. What kind of shampoo should be used?
That's a good question. There are, I mean, I don't have, in Australia, we have a shampoo that can be used with Jeunesse. Unfortunately, haven't got it with you yet, but I would actually look. There must be some on the market in Malaysia. I'm sorry about the sun coming in on my face here. There must be some shampoos in Australia that are available. In Malaysia that are available that are low foaming. You want something fairly low foaming. Anything that's going to dry the scalp is going to irritate that condition. There's also look for your EFAs, your essential fatty acids in your diet, because if your scalp is dry, you're still not getting enough essential oils essential fatty acids into the sebum flow. And because you've got to think your scalp is the same mechanism of survival as it is your facial skin.
Let me explain this before you continue. All right. All right. 他在这里呢是说呢，其实他们其实在澳洲呢是 Janice 呢是有这些宣布的。不过呢，我们在马来西亚目前呢还没有进到这个宣布，所以如果你是要找宣布的话呢，你 make sure 呢你的这个洗发水呢是很少泡沫的。OK， 所以那些很多泡沫的呢，就会把你的这个头皮呢弄得更干燥，所以你可以选用那些比较少泡沫的。所以在 NHM 呢，其实呢都有一些的这个宣布呢是泡沫比较少的这些呢就比较适合你用。I'm telling them regarding NHF, we have a kind of shampoo that is low in foam. They
That's
can try.
Very good. Yeah, lowest foaming as possible. And
do you recommend them to use facial oil to apply on the scalp?
That's a good question. It certainly will help to condition the hair and will help to alleviate some of the dryness. It's excessive dryness, which is a lot of the problem. But I think in terms of, because your hair shaft is so strong on a head of hair, I think you sort of really need to look into the diet and the essential fatty acids in the diet.
OK，所以就是在饮食方面要注意你的这一个这些优质的脂肪食物呢要吃的足够。OK, so should we proceed to another one? We have another 4 questions. So we are going to answer all questions because there is not too much question over here.
That's
So
you can manage that.
how to take care skin in daytime with makeup?
How do you take care of dry skin if you have makeup on in the day? Is that right?
Yes.
Very simply, you just choose a very gentle cleansing milk, not something which is foaming. So if you're wearing makeup, and quite often if you're wanting a very clear looking complexion, many people wear makeup. Most of the makeup products these days are quite light. They're not heavy waxes. So they will remove quite easily with a milk cleanser. If you need to double cleanse, that's the only difference if the makeup is a little bit heavier. That means you just do the process twice. But it's really important not to use foaming because you're just going to dry that skin out. And remember, dry skin is premature aging. You just don't want to age earlier than your years. So make sure that you keep to a very soft milk cleanser. And all the Jeunesse cleansers are exactly that.
All right. Is that I'm not sure whether did she mean that during wearing a makeup, can we do something like spraying the refresher to keep?
Yeah. Sorry, I misunderstood the question. Apologies.
I'm not really sure whether she's asking regarding
Okay,
this.
no, that's fine. The good thing about our mists, just talking about the mists here, is even though they're a hydration step, they can actually be used to set makeup as well. So people can spray it on their face after makeup, and even during the daytime, if they're in an environment where it's very drying, like air conditioning, which can be drying on the skin, you can just spray with your mist. Take your mist in your bag to you with work, and you'll find that you'll just get that nice hydration relief during the day.
OK，然后Kristen 呢也建议呢，如果你是在白天在 make up 的时候呢，你也可以用这个 mist，就是我们的这个喷雾，它呢可以固定这个你的妆，而且呢也让你的脸上的这个水质比较平衡，就不会干燥。All right, so this is a very special question. When is the year of Janice is born? I mean, your mom. She's asking her age.
1932.
1932, which means
She's 90.
90. Oh, 刚刚好90岁 and approaching 91, isn't it?
Yes, in January she'll be 91.
Yeah, 1月份呢，他就是91岁了，就是这个 Janice 的创办人。所以呢，就是他的女儿大概你们也知道是几岁了哈，因为妈妈大概20岁就生孩子了嘛，所以我们不方便问他妈妈还好，所以他是大概应该是70岁吧。OK， 好 ，I was telling them that you do not need to answer. I mean roughly of your age.
Oh, I'm 65.
Oh, 65. OK， 哦，所以今年5岁。OK, all right. So, all right. So we proceed to the next question. Yeah. Okay, this is in Chinese. Is it for not? I mean, 中性皮肤叫什么？ neutral skin type. Maybe not too dry or not too oily. Using a soaking and mist, and then go for serum and day lotion. But next day they had some acne. Is it because of it is the skin layer, the lower skin layer is dirty and not well cleansed? And also,
it's an interesting one, that question, because quite often when people first start doing the soaking misting, that hydration, what happens is if they haven't done it before and their skin is dry, what happens if their surface of the skin is dry? Quite often the oil doesn't flow through to the surface. It gets trapped underneath. So they get these little bumps under the skin that happen, and quite often people feel those little bumps just under the skin. They're not pimples or anything. They don't seem to appear as pimples, but they're not going away. And what happens is people realize that they've got dry skin, so they start on the Jeunesse program and they do the soaking, the misting, the serum, and that hydration and that softening effect actually softens the surface of the skin so it's not dry anymore. And then what happens is all those little bumps that have been sitting underneath, because the skin was too dry before, all those little bumps will start to be released. So it might appear that your skin is having a breakout, so to speak, but it's actually not. It's actually moving what is already sitting there in the past.
Okay,
And
let me explain.
it will still, after a week or two, it'll just balance itself out.
Alright, let me explain to them in Chinese. 其实呢，它是这样子的。如果呢，有一些人呢，他可能使用了一些 Janice 的产品过后呢，会生痘痘的这个原因呢是这样的，就是原本有一些人呢，他可能呢皮肤表面是干燥，但是里面呢是有带油，就是它的滋油不平衡，所以呢就是内油外干的这样子。所以如果内油外干的时候呢，那个在我们的皮肤的底层呢，就会呢有一些的好像一粒粒这样子的痘痘，但是它出不到来，因为外面很干嘛。所以呢，这些东西呢就出不来。所以呢，当这个有问题的这位人呢，他用了这个 Janice 产品过后呢，他就会让他的外皮呢也开始受滋润。所以这个外皮被滋润了过后呢，那这里面的这个已经隐藏了许久，在皮肤底下的这一些脓啊等等呢，它就会呢被要发掘出来，而且是要被清理掉的。所以呢，可能你开始用的时候，你可能有一些人，甚至我之前也是这样子，当你压下去的时候呢，你觉得里面呢是有一粒粒的，你这样子拉的话，你也看到觉得有一粒粒，但是就是因为呢外皮太干，所以呢它就没有办法出来，没有办法清理掉这些痘痘。所以呢，当是被滋润过后呢，这些痘痘呢它就会要跑出来，其实就是帮你清理这里面的外层。She also asked, from the same person who asked, is that okay that she used soaking, mist, and serums for 2 to 3 weeks? Then on the 4th week, only she add in day lotion. Is that better?
Yes, so what she can do, I mean, it all depends how skin feels. Day lotion added later is only if the case of the person's got sensitive skin and they can't tolerate a wax for a little while. So if she wants to correct her skin, like if she feels as if there's a mild congestion there as a result of her skin being too dry, I would suggest that she does a soaking misting serum and then just use a very light facial oil, the softening facial oil, as a moisturiser, just to hold that humidity in, because it's really important to maintain that humidity in the skin. And that's the best way to do it. So it's just until, and again, without seeing the skin, it's hard to exactly say, but my suggestion is you can't underestimate how important it is, that soaking, misting, serum steps to transform the texture of the skin.
Okay, so I think we would recommend to start with soaking and misting. If for really sensitive and problematic skin, then maybe after 1 week, add on with serum, and the next week add on with lotion.
That's correct. A staged approach like that is a really good one, because you're building each layer as you go, and then by the time the skin has changed its texture and it started to restore its natural softness and the texture is even, then that means that you can start to change the routine and moderate it. But you will find that your soaking, misting serum will become part of your daily habits, and it just keeps your skin healthy.
All right. 所以我们在这里就建议呢，如果你是第一次使用的话呢，你就先开始做这个泡浸的，就是做这个 soaking， 然后跟 misting， 做了大概1到2个星期过后呢，你再加上这个精华液，那再多1到2个星期过后呢，再加上这个 lotion， 这样子会比较好。因为呢，我们的这个它是一个治疗哦，然后它是需要一些的时间来慢慢让你的 这个皮肤呢来改变它的 texture， 然后呢让它的吸收是更好的。所以呢你在使用的时候呢，你都可以一直在观察你的需要，然后甚至呢可以拍照呢给我们的这美容营养师，让他呢来帮助你。Alright, so we'll go to another question. This question is from Gloria. Do you have any product that helps other party of skin hydration? Help others party for skin hydration. What I think she is asking any product to help for skin hydration. I think the softening range will be the answer.
Anything to do with soaking misting. Look, the thing that is a product that would help maintain that through the whole period of time is your elixir. I mean, the elixir is like a vitamin supplement to the skin, but basically what you're doing is giving the skin the nutrition support it needs to hold that humidity in the cellular structure. And also, there's other things around it, which is a very complicated way of explaining it, but the natural oils, the essential fatty acids that you need to have in your diet actually need to be in part of that structure of the skin as well, because that helps to hold humidity. So the elixir is actually going to help your skin to do those two very important actions that keep the skin soft and supple. And so if you're looking at hero, I mean, they're all as important as each other, every step. If you want, but as I said, the elixir is a very special product. You really need to have that soaking misting serum step with it to get the full benefit. You can't put anything like an elixir or a serum or a lotion on dry skin. You can, but you're not going to get the benefit. It's going to be far more beneficial and far more effective in the results if you do that soaking misting step and then you apply your actives after that.
Alright, 所以呢，在这里呢，如果你真的是要非常就是比较滋润的这个产品的话呢，记得 elixir 是非常的重要的。但是使用这个 elixir 呢，不可以只是单单用 elixir 就是这个东西不可以单单只是用这个 elixir， 你需要呢全部就是一整套的使用。为什么呢？因为呢，我们这个是一个治疗来的，所以呢。你必须要有 step， 就是首先打开皮肤然后呢要有这个载体这些东西，它才可以把你这个 elixir 呢可以放在你的打进去你的这个皮肤里面。那如果你是单单使用这个 elixir 的话呢，我觉得应该是很浪费，因为你的皮肤根本很难吸收。那我们必须呢做 step by step， 这样会比较好的。OK， 那飞便你的这个问题的 body wash 呢，其实是有的我们是有这个 body wash 的，但是 Janice 的 body wash 还没有到啦。OK， 那我们还有其他的 body wash 呢，其实可以帮助你的。Someone is asking about the body wash. I say, NHF have not bring in body wash from Janice yet. Okay, so one more question from Mei Ling. She is asking how to prevent on face, skin, age, spots, and also freckles.
Well, freckles are a genetic thing, so that's something that if you want to soften freckles, you obviously have to protect from the sun, because the sun is something that's going to make your freckles look darker. That's a whole subject when we go to talk about our sun care lotion, which is the next presentation that we'll be doing.
Can tell something regarding it right now, because we are going to give a special offer for today's attendees on this.
Okay. Yeah. Well, this is a product that is very special to us, the sun care lotion. And the reason that it was developed, and I'll give you the short version of the story because it's a long story, but the short version is that it's actually just all plant-based. And the way it works is that it uses the skin's own natural protective mechanism by absorbing vitamin A and E. And vitamins A and E are what we call photoabsorbers. So they basically neutralize the effect of the sun on the skin. Now, if you have vitamin A and E in enough concentration in the cells of your skin, it actually does the sun care protection that you need. So in the product, we have a selection of seed oils. There's a root vegetable oil, carrot oil, and there's also plant extracts, which are all natural photoabsorbers, but they're also antioxidants, because the effect of the sun on the skin is actually has the effect it oxidizes the cells and causes damage. So I'm trying to give you the brief version. It's a very complicated story, but basically it's a plant-based natural sun care protection, and you put it on once a day. It's progressive. You just every day, and that's it. That's all you need to do. You don't need to reapply it because it's absorbed into your skin. The protection comes from within. And what's the most interesting part about it is that in the sun care market, in the sunblock market, shall we say, there's a big concern. It's a lot of discussion around women or men who wear sunblock every day and cover up the whole body. And the problem is they're not able to produce vitamin D, because vitamin D is synthesized on the surface of your skin. So if you're not, and it's by sunlight that you need it. So if you're wearing a complete block on the surface of your skin, you're not producing vitamin D. So there's a lot of deficiency in vitamin D. So with the sun care lotion, that problem doesn't occur. You can still synthesize your vitamin D on the surface of the skin. So it's a very safe product to use. You can use it on babies. You can use it on any age group, any skin type. It's the most amazing product. And I will be talking more about it in my next presentation, because I think it's a little bit of explanation around the action of it, and understanding anything you're using which is plant-based, you need to have that progressive daily application to maintain the benefits. So that's product which is going back on shelf in a couple of months in Malaysia. And I'll be excited to talk to you more about it around that time. I can see the screen up on it, yeah.
All right, I have the screen regarding the sun care lotion. All right.
On the left. So you can see, I mean, people look at the diagram that's on the left page. You can see that if you put a sunblock on the left-hand side diagram, so sunblock is just sitting on the surface of the skin. And of course, if you either sweat or you go swimming, that has a problem where it washes off. So you lose that benefit of protection.
Is this the diagram that you are talking?
The one on the left-hand side, down the bottom far left.
Okay, let me enlarge it.
Okay.
So everyone can see.
Yeah, down the bottom far left. That's it, that one on the left. So you see where you got the yellow on the surface of the skin? That is what we have just done in an illustration form to be like a sunblock. And it just sits on the surface. As I mentioned, it doesn't actually penetrate at all. It's designed not to. It's designed to sit and block the sun.
Okay, so this is the outer layer of the
so what happens if you go swimming, or if you're playing sport, or you sweat, or whatever it is that causes that protection to be compromised, then you become susceptible to sun damage. The sun care lotion is demonstrated by the diagram on the right-hand side, and that is where the lotion is absorbed. And we've done it in yellow because basically the lotion itself is yellow because it's got quite a lot of carrot oil in it. And what happens is it absorbs all the way through that epidermis, that upper layer of skin. So you get that full layer of protection. And when you apply it daily, you get that continually throughout the day. So you don't need to reapply it. So it's a very effective product. And as I said, that the biggest advantage is that it's very safe to use for everyone.
Okay, fortunately, I'm still keeping this information with me. All right, let me explain a bit to them. 那这
Yes,
关于
sure.
呢这个sun care lotion 呢，就是刚才有人问这关于这一个怎样如何的减少这个雀斑呢？雀斑呢其实呢是天生的，所以如果呢你要减少这雀斑的话呢，只是减少它，不要让它加深。OK 老人斑当然那个是另外那个是不是天生的嘛？那所以呢，我们不管是老人斑还是雀斑呢，我们其实都需要呢用这一个预防它直接碰触到这个太阳，让它的这个就更加加深。当然，身体里面也是有这一个需要帮助，所以呢，等一下呢，我们下一位医生呢就会跟我们讲解呢如何的如何的吃或者是预防这个老人斑。那另外呢，就是刚才有讲解到很多 sunblock 呢，就是把太阳 block 在外面，就是不要太阳。但是这样子的话，维他命 D 呢，其实就没有接收到了。所以呢，现在呢，其实我们在这个 Janice 的 Sun Care Lotion 呢，它就不一样，它是可以呢，让你的身体呢，可以吸收到维他命 D。但是呢，把那些有害的 UVB 这些呢就抗在外面，所以呢，这个是非常特别的哦。所以呢，就好像这个图大家看到，那普通的这个sunblock他们是涂在外面嘛，别人涂在这里，那个太阳要进来呢都进不到，因为呢它已经被 block 出去，被排出去外面，就是直接关门。那所以呢，我们的这个Sun Care Lotion 就不一样哦，它就可以呢帮助你呢把这一个维他命 D 呢直接吸收 ，OK 到我们的皮肤底层，所以你可以得到这个维他命 D， 然后那些伤害皮肤的就要看这边伤害皮肤的这些东西呢就不会进去了。你看，这个它就会把它给停在这里，然后呢就不会伤害到我们的皮肤。OK， 最重要呢就是我们12月份的时候呢会更加的仔细的谈这一块，因为它里面还有很多很巧妙的东西啊，应该要它的就是这个我们身体其实呢可以化解这些维他命 UVB、UVA 这些东西等等的哦，所以呢，在我们12月份的时候呢，会请 Kristen 呢再一次来给我们讲解关于这个 Sun Care Lotion 的。I'm telling them that in December you'll be here for another webinar on a detailed version of sun care lotion.
That's correct.
Okay. Just now, there was one question. She tried to write in details that we are not answering her question well because we do not answer. We do not understand the question. Is that
Okay.
say, do you have any way to help other parts of body hydration, which means hands, legs, other than face?
So one thing that's important, we do have body milks, if that's the answer, and hand lotions, which are general body care. But one thing that's important that people can do to help with the body care of the body is, first of all, you don't need much more than water. If you've got dry skin issues, just try and use any just very low foaming product that you can on your body to wash it. But when you've finished in the shower, try not to dry your body off too much. Just leave it damp and shake off a bit of excess water if you like, and then apply a body lotion on top of damp skin. So
how about the hand lotion that we have?
Well, the hand lotion is the same. You can we always say that it's best to put the hand lotion after you've washed your hands and your hands are still damp from washing. Because anytime you put a lotion on damp skin, you're actually locking that humidity in with the water, and you're actually mimicking what the skin does with the hydration from the sweat glands and the oil from the oil glands. So you're just doing the same. So, but that principle works whether it's for your face or for your body, to always put a lotion on damp skin.
OK， 所以呢，他在这里呢告诉大家，我们其实还有一个 hand lotion， 它是可以呢涂手涂脚的。那这个呢，当你要涂的时候呢 make sure 呢你的手或者你的脚或者皮肤部位呢是有一些的潮湿，就比如像你洗了手，大概擦干 刚刚擦干的时候，它还是有一些的水分在皮肤上的时候，就使用了这个hand lotion 来涂。这样子的话呢，它吸收能力会更好。而且我告诉你一个秘密哦，当你这样子涂的话，你不用放太多，它都可以呢涂到整个面积的。I tell them that it's very safe. That if you use some you apply on damp skin, you only need a few pumps for a whole area.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Any Jeunesse product is concentrated. So the reason for that is we don't put a lot of water in the product when we make it. And that means that you add the water or you layer it with water.
Yeah. For this, I received a question this morning. A lady was trying to use our soaking drop. She did not put in water. She applied it direct on the face, and the face right now is totally dry up. So maybe you want to explain on this.
Totally what? The face is totally
Dry. It's dry.
it's dry.
Yeah.
Well, unless you use water with it, I mean the plants will absorb. That's a given. But you need the humidity of the water to carry everything.
I
And
think maybe it's too concentrated that she
it's a
put it
very
directly.
it's a very concentrated product. I mean, a little 30 ml bottle, like this one, you only need to, like in a bowl of water, I'll just demonstrate. So you've got a bowl, you shake 1, 2, 3. That's it. And that's enough for a whole bowl of water. And that bottle of, and you've got to have the water by volume quite high because you've got to be able to put your cloth in and squeeze it and apply it on your face. You never put it on you never put directly on your skin. It's not designed for that.
All right.
It's a concentrated plant extract that needs to be diluted in water.
OK， 那在这里呢，就跟大家讲呢，今天呢就收到一个用户，他就直接用这个 soaking drop 呢涂在脸上，所以呢就造成了那个皮肤干燥，类似灼伤这样子的。所以呢在这里呢，所以用法非常重要，听清楚，因为呢这个呢会让你的皮肤变美，或者呢会误用了。因为我们的 Jenny's 产品呢，它都是非常浓缩的。所以你不要看它小小罐这样子30 ml 好像没有什么的水，其实它是超级浓缩的。就比如像 soaking drop 呢，就它需要大概刚才他拿那个碗的一半，就是足够你泡进整块布的水，然后你只是需要摇3下而已，然后它就可以足够了整碗的那个水。所以如果你没有使用没有就是 dilute 就是没有稀释它来使用的话呢，可能就会造成好像会哇很浓的东西涂在手上，而且不能吸收反而呢可能呢会造成呢会类似灼伤的感觉。因为呢我们的东西真的是非常非常的超级浓缩精华。如果呢要使用这个 soaking drop 记得一定要泡浸在水上面，这样呢是最安全的。所以使用的话呢要记得我们 Jenny 产品呢不只是单单那些普通上架的产品那种的用法，我们这个是治疗皮肤的，所以呢它的每一样东西都是非常浓缩的。Okay, I tell them about that. This is for healing. Jenny's products can heal. So it's something like a medicine instead of you just apply like normal skincare outside that you can find in the rack. All right. So I think today that's all. Okay, there is one more question. I think we can give her a quick question, a quick answer regarding how to treat body eczema. I think you need eczema for on body.
Body eczema.
Yeah.
Body eczema is, first of all, you've got to apply the same principles as you would for your face. So when we're treating eczema, we are asked to dampen the whole body first.
Okay.
And strangely enough, there's things which are simple that you can put in. You can probably put soaking drops into a bath to help with the inflammation if the skin is inflamed. We actually do have a special eczema lotion in Australia, which is not available at the moment with Natural Health Farm. But it depends on the level. I mean, I would suggest First of all, the diet has got to be considered. They've got to look at their diet. They've got to look at their B vitamins, essential fatty acids. If they've got a very light body lotion they have access to, once they've had a bath and their skin is damp, they put the light lotion on top because you've got to lock that humidity in. It depends on the severity of the eczema, how severe it is. If the skin is cracked, there's a limitation around cracked skin because it impedes movement. You'd have to really assess the patient individually or the client individually. But I think for an instant relief, I would actually use the balancing mist, the balancing refresher, because it's lavender, it's cooling and calming. That'll take some of the heat out of the skin on the body. And then you could, if you just want to treat the affected area, once you've misted, you could apply a little bit of serum on there just to hold that humidity in.
Balancing serum?
Balancing serenity serum, yeah, because you want something that's going to calm it. Quite often on the body, because the skin's a bit tougher on the body than the face. Quite often on the body, it's more, you feel more, it's more irritable because it'll crack because it's in joints and it's in areas that you're moving and touching all the time. So it can be a little bit more uncomfortable on the body. But you've got to keep the body away from heat, excessive heat. Heat will aggravate it, so you've also got to keep them away from the foods that are heat producing, like I mentioned before, your chilies, your hot foods, your oranges. Also, I got to mention strawberries. I mean, I don't know if you have many strawberries in Malaysia.
Too much.
But anyway, that's another one to be avoided. Animal fats, anything that's heavy to digest, animal fats. Saturated fats, deep fried food, stimulants like coffee, even wasabi, your wonderful, tasty hot foods. Unfortunately, while you've got that skin condition, you have to avoid it. And as I mentioned before, this is only for a period of time until your skin heals. And then by that stage, everything should be on track. You can eat what you like. Okay. But your skin will tell you if you're doing the wrong thing very quickly, I can tell you. It'll break out when you're doing something wrong. So there is a lot of influencing factors around eczema on the body. But again, as I said, bath, you can actually, if it's just a localised area, like around behind the knees or something, you can do just a soaking on that space and then do a mist and serum and just see how that goes. But really important to look at your essential fatty acids and your B vitamins, as I mentioned before, your complex B vitamins. Because if your skin's not producing enough natural oils to protect itself, that barrier is just going to break down. And that's how the eczema happens.
OK， 那如果你是有这个湿疹的问题的话呢，Kristen 呢是比较建议呢，你可以就是做这个泡浸，然后呢用 spray 就是那个 mist， 就是我们喷雾，还有呢这个精华液，就是这个 serum， 都是要用的那个 balancing 的 range 的，就是那个紫色的。OK， 紫色的那个是比较recommend， 而且呢你要很注意的就是呢，不要身体不要过热。如果你身体不管是外面晒进来的热，还是这个里面吃的一些食物呢的燥热呢，都会引起的这个 eczema 的问题是更严重的。Okay, I think today that's all for the session. So we are going to continue another session with Dr. Jonathan. So Kristen, we'll see you again maybe in December.
Yes, that'll be lovely. And thank you very much, everyone, for tuning in and listening to me today. And I'm sure you'll get all the support and all the wonderful advice that you'll need from their fabulous Natural Health Farm team.
All right. Thank you, Kristen.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
那看过了这个 Part 1的视频之后呢，那请大家呢点击另一个视频，它是我们 Part 2的 Dr. Jonathan 将为大家讲解。